Cancer. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're here for you. Super exciting. This is a kind of different series reading that I wanted to do for you here. As I know that we're moving through some pretty heavy cycles here. We just moved out of Venus retrograde in July, towards the tail end of the month of July 2020, and it was in Gemini, and it's now actually moving direct. It's actually cleared out of the post-shadow period of retrograde, and it actually technically went direct prior to July, let's say 20, I think it was 26, 27, 28, 29 is when it really started clearing out even the post-shadow, but we still had that post-shadow period, and I mentioned this on the channel. If you're a new viewer, I do mention this often, that the post and pre-shadow periods of retrograde are really, really intense. It can actually sometimes be more intense than even the actual retrograde cycle, but not to say that you just strike fear, not at all, right? Everything is purposeful. So what comes up during a review cycle is kind of how we can see a retrograde in general. There's a reason for that, and it can be really helpful. So, but let's clear the energy and ground, and we'll start talking more about, as Venus is now going direct, what is it that might be a focus here for you? This is going to be your direct Venus reading. So, and I will kind of bring up themes from maybe what was touched upon during the retrograde cycle, so that you can kind of gain clarity of what might be kind of leading out. Now, Venus does go retrograde, I think it's like every other year or so. So, themes do come up for review, and whenever we have, let's say a certain shift in relation to a certain planet, things can also come up for you in that way. So to say it in this way as well, Venus was in retrograde, and it was also in the sign of Gemini. Now, Gemini is filtering into Cancer on the 7th of August 2020. So we are filtering out even on that spectrum, let's say by way of sign placement for Venus. So Venus has some major transformations, major sort of points of review, we can call it in that way. But we'll get here into your reading, and again, Venus here coming into your sign of Cancer. It's so very exciting here for you, dear, I'm calling you Gemini, Cancer. And so just note before we begin, that this is a channel message. It can also see in that way. So feel free to slow the pace down if it is a little too fast at times. You can click, there's a little gear, you can click that and slow it to your desired speed. Let's jump into it and see here what has been at play, what's filtering out, what major themes make you focus. Wow, right there we're ready. Okay, someone wants to be first. Now, I want to actually pull a card for each of the stages, and we'll first sort of get a feel for these energies as we move into Venus and Cancer in your own sign, and see, what possibly might be a theme here for the next period and cycle here. And we have Venus actually in Cancer up until let's see when it will be filtering out. I'm seeing Venus will be leading into Leo actually around the 7th of September. So we have a chunk of time here with Venus and Cancer, but just note that it may also it may shift within this reading over time. So we'll pull cards to see. Always take as you will. There'll be so many aspects at play, but we'll see kind of how the energy might filter through. Now, Daughter Cups, Son of Wands in reverse. We're already seeing 2 court cards on the table. We have the Father of Swords as well in reverse, 3 of Pentacles upright, and the 5 of Wands. You do have the Temperance card in reverse, sitting at the base of the 5 of Wands upright. And by the way, thank you all so much for connecting here to you. Thank you all so much as well for your comments, your likes, your shares, and your subscriptions. I'm so touched by all of you, so thank you, everyone, for connecting here ultimately to you. And I'm seeing here, though, specifically for a number of you, that there has been a theme here at play. It's really, for a number of you, possibly related here to either Sagittarius or the Sagittarius. You have Temperance cards sort of sitting at the base, anchoring here the position with the Justice card upright. There's something that you've really felt like, I need to make up my mind with this, and it's been really on your mind, and the Sun of Cups splitting here right there, looking over at the Daughter Cups. Now, they're looking at one another, it's interesting, but through the Father of Swords in reverse. So there's some kind of framework, some old, let's say, some older paradigm of thinking that somehow it disrupts. I'm hearing in this way, disrupts, yes. Ace of Wands in reverse, 3 of Pentacles upright. The feeling I'm hearing as well that maybe, and even, let's say, the vision or the imagination, the imaginative space, that we feel guided to move in the direction of. So there is a major shift here is what I'm seeing with the Daughter Cups and the Son of Cups. Now this will play out, it can play out a number of ways, depending on how, let's say, that the sign of Cancer and the sign of Venus are naturally sort of operating in terms of birth chart. Now, if you want to do one-on-one with me there, you can look at your chart to see exactly how those energies are operating. We can also do that, and that's available on the website alchemyu.com, and we can work on that through the moon cycle as well. It's called a moon cycle program, I think. It's a protocol program. But if that is of interest for you, then feel free to kind of lead there, and the link should be in the description box below. But regardless, if you, let's say, are already familiar with how your Venus is situated in your chart and how Cancer is operating actually in your chart as well, then what this kind of speaks to for me is the intention. I'm hearing space, the intuition being very clear, the vision space actually being brought forth as a greater priority. I'm hearing that as well within the space of what we sort of set the stage for. I'm hearing this way, what it is that we see ourselves creating with. Now, there's really a question here when we see Temperance and Justice. I'm hearing the point is potential. I'm hearing that ultimately Temperance in reverse, Justice upright. Now, this can be, again, different for everyone. If this is your Venus sign, if your Venus is actually in Cancer, then really coming down to in general, how you operate, how you operate with that part of your chart, how that, that energy can be really brought up for review. It will become very clear how it is that you sort of connect with that energy space in your own personal birth chart, how you channel that energy. And I do see the birth chart as encapsulation of your gifts, right? So there is something of a point of review as it relates to, let's say, yet again, Venus is for you in Cancer, it will be bringing up for you really, really strongly the concept of, I'm hearing this out and out for you and for a number of you, forgiveness. I'm hearing that may be a theme for a number of the Father Swords in reverse, but for a number of you, this is actually the space of I'm hearing the quantum field dynamic. Wow, I'm seeing actually for a number of you is very interesting. You're actually recognizing what it is. I'm hearing that you cherish. What are your values? And Venus does speak of values, right? So in Cancer, we're kind of understanding on an intuitive level and connecting emotionally with what it is that we want, what we desire, how we kind of reflect that space. So for everyone during this period, Venus is in Cancer. So that energy will be, okay, regardless, but filtering through the part of your chart that is related to both Venus and Cancer. So to say in this way, this is a general theme, right? That is coming up for review, and we all have Cancer in our chart. We all have Venus in our chart. So, but in the way that it does filter through, that will be different for everyone. So just a keynote there. Now let's clear the energy and ground. There's something that's been on your mind. I'm hearing that. 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. To say in this way as well, you're kind of, I'm hearing, recognizing what your gifts are. I'm hearing that as well. It's kind of something that has become very clear. Okay, so the intuition has been really, really, I'm hearing for a number of you a challenge with the Father Swords in reverse. Possibly there has been some kind of framework, I'm hearing, of the psyche space. I'm hearing that. Father Swords upright is a really, really strong air energy card. We can see with the Father Swords court card, it's sort of the exaltation of a certain energy. In this case, it's Aries. I'm hearing Aries. Interesting. 8 of Wands in reverse. So for a number of you, this could be somebody who has a lot of Aries in the chart. It can be somebody who has a very strongly placed Mars in the chart. Mars even at an anaretic degree. I'm hearing that. 27, 28, 29 degrees. Even in the third, I'm hearing the third house. Interesting. So they could have Mars overlapping, maybe even with the element of air. They could have really sharp words, is what I'm hearing for a number of you. And take it as you will. Again, we can get into that maybe further in a private reading if that is of interest for you. But in a general way, I'm seeing that there's air energy interplaying with fire. Now, what I'm seeing, that's the physical body interacting with the mental mind. But what I'm seeing here for a number of you is that there's something that you're coming down to. It's something that actually possibly for a number of you, you've already created. And you are very clear on whatever it is that this vision space is. I'm hearing is a vision space, and with the element of water, that is what we really come down to. But the question possibly has been how it is that we have perceived of that creation, of what it is that we have sort of seen, we've sort of sensed, we've sort of understood on that fundamental emotional also level. So for a number of you, you're making waves, you're making spaces, I'm hearing, of what feels to be like I'm hearing distance kind of come together. And with the Daughter and the Son of Cups, we do see a very strong also connection. I'm hearing emotional connection specifically. You could be kind of connecting with someone. This will be different for everyone, but in terms of partnerships, this could be a significant connection in your I'm hearing also in your chart. Interesting. So be it the relationship between certain planetary energies in your chart coming together, but there's something that you're formalizing. Even you're actually you're sort of dressing. I'm hearing that as well. You're also realizing, is what I'm hearing. Ultimately, the Daughter Cups and the Son of Cups is beautiful. Now you lead out with this Strength card in reverse. I am hearing you leading out of this energy space with that energy. Would you then move into Venus and Leo? So there could be something here for a number of you that you're kind of looking towards. You're really looking towards. I'm hearing that again. You're looking forward to. Knight of Pentacles upright, actually bringing together. And for a number of you, this can be something that you're actually creating. You're producing. It could be a series. I'm hearing a novel for another number of you. I'm hearing as well, this could be something you're actually like composing. I'm hearing that with the Nine of Pentacles. You put a lot of time and energy and work into this. The Nine of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, the Pentacle suit in general, there is a very strong focus on the element of earth, the actual physical material 3D realm, how it is that we interact and engage in a material context with what it is that we create. The sun is in reverse, and you have the strength card here horizontally leading out. So there is a really strong focus here on the archetype of Leo, the sun being the ruler of Leo. Now, what I'm seeing is that there's something about the cycle of growth, and it's very interesting because with the element of earth and the element of fire through by way of the sun and by way of the strength card, and even the two of wands at the base of the strength card, what we're really seeing here is manifestation, right? If you think about planting a seed, think of it as the pentacle. Then we see, the application of the solar influence, the sun, the heat. I'm hearing even the passion in a certain way, the vision, where we sustain that vision over time. We come back every so often in a cyclical fashion, and we bring attention to what it is we set the intention of. I'm hearing that related to the Six of Pentacles. In other words, we plant the seed, right? The sun comes out, and it brings to the surface what it is that we had that intention set out as. Now, for a number of you, this is a long cycle, very long cycle. You have the Nine of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles. This could be something that you started way back. I'm hearing 6 years ago. I'm hearing 7, 8. I'm hearing 7, 8. It could be 78, 68. I'm hearing that as well. This is something even I'm hearing from the inception of time. I'm hearing, I'll go with the sun in reverse, all right. But it's something that you haven't forgotten. I'm hearing that as well. It's funny because we have the Sun of Cups here bringing in the storyline, and then we lead out with the sun in reverse. So there's something of a cycle, I'm hearing that again, that possibly you've been really, I'm hearing, really, I don't want to say stuck on, but like really focused towards. I'm hearing that with the Temperance card in reverse and the Eight of Wands in reverse. The number is something you feel has absolute potential, and that's been the focus. Now, you have the Three of Pentacles as well, the Five of Wands. There's been a lot of questions. I'm hearing that in terms of what were the preliminary sort of stages. What will go into this space, and how is it that we will actually carry it out over time and down the line. Now, I'm hearing a lot of decisions, possibly a lot of alternative options, but I'm seeing that that's really secondary. Okay, I'm saying that the broader cycle is kind of clear to you. I'm hearing that. It's kind of like, I know I'm going on the trip regardless. It's just, am I going to take an Uber there, a Lyft there, a train, a bus, so on and so forth. Car. I'm going to have my friend drive me, drive myself, so on and so forth. But, it can also come from the angle, let's say, of, I know that I'm going to carry this out. I know that I'm going to take, again, I'm hearing this trip with the Temperance card in reverse. But, what is it that I'm going to take with me? Interesting. So this could be, I'm seeing this as like packing luggage, even organization here with the Five of Wands and the Temperance card, even of your abilities. For a number of you, this is you possibly even strategizing, writing out maybe what it is that you feel will sort of be involved in this space. Now, with the Temperance card in reverse as well, and I'm seeing that if you're Cancer, that this is something that possibly you've had, again, your eye on. It could be something you have a vision of that you're very set on. I'm hearing that again, down the line in the future. Like you sort of set it aside and you've thought, this is like my vision. I'm hearing I'm going to do it one way or another. I'm hearing it's compartmentalized. I'm hearing in my mind's eye. Now the Eight of Wands in reverse yet again. So there's something that possibly for a number of you, we're going to get further into this. I'm going to pull cards for each of the stages here to get a sense for maybe in terms of timeline where we're sort of looking at with the actual, I'm hearing major next stages. I'm hearing the big break. I'm hearing that as well. All right. Come here, Cancer, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Daughter Cups and the Ten of Cups. Something, oh my goodness, so sensational. But oh gosh, okay. Ten of Cups. But before it's really, it's like, that there's something really special. There's a ribbon on that box, it's coming. I'm hearing that as well. The Daughter Cups up right, the Ten of Cups in reverse. But there's a lot of waiting, a lot of preparation, a lot of building for some maturation. With your vision, it's beautiful. Now, you're having visions, dreams. I'm hearing that as well for another number of you. I'm hearing you're seeing everything. I'm hearing that as well. It's kind of all coming together is what I'm hearing as well. I'm hearing Leo, and I'm getting that for a number of you, possibly this will really be materializing down the line, especially if it has to do with travel, the Temperance in reverse. For a number of you, this is possibly for another number of you, it's something that you see yourself as holding a position of in a public way, in a professional way. Now, with the Ten of Cups and the Daughter Cups, it could be a reunion as well, right there with the Daughter Swords. There could be some sort of information here coming through. Absolutely. There's some sort of storyline here. Now, I want to pull a card for each of the days, well, each of the months actually. We'll sparse further out during the line, down the line. What is time? Right? We'll talk more about, let's say, the fine-tuning of the days during the month in other readings. So feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll get notified when those readings do come out. Now, but let's jump into it here. We'll pull a card for each of the months to see sort of what has been at play. And I want to pull a card here for just the pre-retrograde cycle for Venus. Oh boy, you moved through a lot, Cancer. You moved through a lot. Let's be really 100% honest with everyone here, including your cross watchers. If they will please stand up. I'm hearing that as well. All right. Son of Swords, yeah. So I'm hearing, it's been a long day without you, my friend. Something possibly for number. Well, we'll get into it, but it was very, very challenging. Now, I'm hearing pot stickers. That could be a specific message here for a number of you. Okay, now the actual retrograde period. Let's pull here. Yeah. You really moved through quite a cycle here, Cancer. Whew, quite a cycle. Ace of Pentacles. Yes. It's a really exciting jump. I'm hearing that as well. Ascension. I'm hearing that with the Hangman. Right over the Ace of Pentacles. I'm hearing we've made it. Death in reverse. Whew, done. Dun. In the post shadow. I'm seeing someone's like, that feeling of having ran a race, like I'm hearing at your height. I'm hearing peak performance. Like you ran as fast as you could and you knew that was really your limit. You ran as fast as you could. It's that moment of reaching the finish line and you are in that inhale, exhale mode, and you're looking around, you're like, I did it. I'm hearing that as well. Oh my God. You're looking around you, did I really do? Yes, I did. And everyone's like kind of confirming that space. Interesting. Now, okay, so this is a post shadow. Now let's pull into the driveway now. All right. Oh my goodness, so exciting. Oh, Leo. I'm hearing Leo again. Some of you might be connecting this one here. Yes, Justice. Lovely. 5 of Wands, right? Still, right? We see that something has been made clear, but there is it's exciting. It's like I'm planning towards. I have the vision. I know now where I'm going, and these are the different sort of facets that I'm sort of tidying up. I'm hearing that tidying up with the 5 of Wands, right? Yeah. Moon in reverse, but there's a lot of release here. It's getting lighter. I'm hearing that as well. Whatever the cycle is. Father Wands in reverse. Yep, in the clearing stage, and then we're gonna pull at the end of this. I'll pull some cards on the actual month. So I'm just seeing sort of cyclically, thematically, what has been at play. Father Wands in reverse. Yeah, you had major realizations here. The world leads you out, Cancer. I'm hearing that was that, and that was that. I'm hearing the rest was friggin' history. The world here leads you. That's the last card in the Tarot Arcana. We're talking about the major exhalation point here with the world of the long-term cycle of really possibly our life. Cancer, what we've experienced here, I'm hearing Leo again, what we've experienced here, we've actually made peace with. I'm hearing that for a number of you. We've actually come to recognize in a whole new way. Our perception has totally changed, completely shifted around our so-called reality. Now, for a number of you, there was something that you felt, I'm hearing stuck on you, like what was stagnant? I'm hearing you've moved on, we've moved on. I'm hearing that as well. We've moved on. And we'll get further into these energies in the extended. You can access via the link in the bio box below. Feel free to reach that via that link below. And once this video is live, it should also be available. And I'm going to jump into that immediately next. And we'll sort of, sparse out in greater detail. If you do feel guided to watch, always huge personal intuition, right? Okay, if you feel guided to watch that, we'll get further possibly into also as well what might have come through in that period in the pre-shadow that might have been actually what ended up, I'm hearing it this way, ended up balancing out. I'm hearing the contract with the world. I'm hearing soul contract. I'm hearing star seed. I'm hearing that with the world specifically. Now, for a number of you, there is something that you've been really working with. For a number of you, this is your spiritual network. I'm hearing that. Wow, the Hanged Man and the Death card in reverse. For a number of you, this has been a very sacred, I'm hearing soul contract. I'm hearing that specifically, and it has actually led you to see the truth. I'm hearing see the light and see yourself. I'm hearing further into the future of your mind's eye vision to see your potential. I'm hearing the glass dome. Wow. For a number, I'm seeing confetti falling. It's like, but it looks like shards of glass. Wow. It's so beautiful. I'm hearing ascension. Now, the 7 of Wands leads you out with the 6 of Swords upright. I'm hearing again, you have already seen what you kind of want to create. You've in a certain way had that epiphany, aha moment, if I can say it that way. But there is still, right, that sort of formation of the, I'm hearing of the carrier. I'm hearing of the device. I don't know what that's alluding to, but the 7 of Wands and the 6 of Swords for it can be related to birth. We'll get further into that in the extended. Now the Moon in reverse, let's clear the energy and ground. For a number of you, you've actually, this is somebody who you're connecting with. Okay, it can be a spirit guide, somebody who you find a very, very, very special, sacred connection to. This is not something that we just sort of see as like part of your story. Okay, I'm hearing one of the characters, I'm hearing lurking in the backdrop. This is actually someone who has been at our side. I'm hearing invisibly. I'm hearing wow. I'm hearing unforgettable. This is like even maybe a memory space, an experience that even since childhood that has brought you to find yourself, is what I'm hearing at the Moon in reverse. Has actually guided you, is what I'm hearing. And experiences can guide us, right? imagine like it's an experience that we have that stays with us, remains with us, right? It's almost like an experience that that shapes our reality, our perception. And if we look at our world as perspective, right, based on perception and perspective, we acknowledge that the things that affect our perspective and our perception are so much so relevant to what we create and how we create it and what the present moment holds in relation to that potential. So for a number of you, you're totally also recognizing experiences that have remained in a new way, looking at them as things that actually do, I'm here, help sustain us. I'm here, our life force, interestingly, with the moon in reverse, bringing attention to actually the sun. And it's very interesting because the sun sits in your post-shadow retrograde period and the moon here is in reverse, leading you out in the clearing stage of Venus retrograde, which actually is, let's say, right as I'm filming this. So we're around August 5th now that I'm recording this, 2020. And you might find that these energies actually do resonate, months down the line, years down the line. In addition, you might find that this might be brought back up for review when Venus goes retrograde again. And even if Venus does go back into Cancer, let's say Gemini, and we hit on these energies once more, but we get again Venus in Cancer when that does sort of cycle through, if that is a focus for you, around a certain, if you feel guided to watch a certain reading at a certain time. But the moon here is in reverse, take it as you will. Let's clear the energy. There's something that possibly you're regenerating. You're not necessarily even acknowledging as a space of release, but you're acknowledging as a space of the release of a certain perspective in relation to it. So it's a huge weight off is what I'm hearing as well. And it's really energizing for you, Cancer. I'm hearing that again. I'm hearing Libra as well. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio who's got a lot of Libra in the chart, a Libra who's got a lot of Scorpio, but I'm hearing a Leo. I'm hearing that as well. Somebody who's got both Scorpio, I'm hearing Leo. They could be a sun sign Leo in the 7th house. I'm hearing that as well. Or they could have Venus conjunct Mercury. I'm hearing Mercury and Leo. Take it as you will. It could be different for everyone. I'm hearing Mercury and Leo, Venus and Leo. I'm hearing that as well. Let's clear it and ground again. But there's something that possibly I'm feeling some activation on the crown chakra. For a number of you, specifically on the right side, for a number of you, this is something that, there's something of a very strong attraction maybe to the space, very strong magnetism. Maybe at times you've asked yourself, like, why am I so keen on also getting the story to the finish line with them? I'm hearing that as well. Like, you kind of turn back at yourself, Cancer, and you're like, why is it such a pivotal part of my reality? And then you come to this point of recognizing possibly in some way that it's actually not what we see it as. I'm hearing that as well. So possibly in some way there is an experience that is really treasured for you. And so when you realize that, and maybe for a number of you there was a lot of this feeling of, well, how do I define it in order to place it? I'm hearing that. And for a number of you possibly it gets to the point where you realize it's not really about I'm hearing also the classification of this experience as either positive or negative or even neutral. In what way do we find that we are in that state of needing to perceive of even period that experience in a way that allows us to define it as anything, as any one thing? So really what I'm seeing is looking at certain experiences as a space of evolution with the sun upright and the moon in reverse. I'm seeing that you no longer are, let's say, holding to a certain experience, a space of judgment, needing to bring it to a point that even where it understands itself. You're letting go of the pressure that is associated with, I'm hearing, ascension of your values. I'm hearing that with the Hangman at the apex of the spread. So you're kind of seeing through certain aspects even of your own story. I'm hearing that where you look back and maybe there are certain experiences that are really challenging and you look at them and you're like, oh, why did I react like that in that experience? Why did it lead to that? I'm saying you're no longer looking at it like that, Cancer. I'm saying you're looking at it as something that maybe is more as like the evolution space. I'm hearing, well, really the integration space of, I'm hearing your experience. I'm hearing as, I'm hearing unrelated to time and space. So there's not really even a problem I'm hearing at all with the Hanged Man and the Ace of Pentacles. There's this feeling of like, it's that feeling when suddenly you're in that virtual reality space, you realize, oh my goodness, I really thought that was real. I'm hearing that as well. I really thought maybe also I saw that as like a problem. So we'll get further into this. In again, the extended, there could be this feeling of like, that no longer bothers me like that. I'm hearing that as well. So yeah, we'll get further into these readings on a day by day as well. But first, before we jump into your extended, I want to pull astrology card for each of the months, and we'll jump into that here for you. And I'm hearing Leo again, so you can focus on that archetype for you as well as your Cancer. And thank you all so much again for tuning into you, for your likes, your comments, your shares, and your subscriptions. There's a lot of pressure here that's been building. Let's pull for April. Nine of Wands in reverse, Father Swords upright. I'm seeing someone like kind of ate their words. Somebody was possibly just about to carry a certain space out, and then something happened, like totally shifted. I'm hearing the environment. We're talking about April, approximately April 4th to the 9th. 2020. Then we move into July. July. Well, we jumped all the way. Oh, okay. Wow, that was that bad. I don't even want to wake up tomorrow. I just want to close my eyes, sleep. Nine of Wands in reverse. I don't know what that's only two, but it was like something that just, it was a shock. It was totally a shock. The Tower of Bright, Son of Wands, like something very, very challenging, very, very difficult. Okay, with the Ace of Pentacles. So someone maybe felt like I need to make a move and really fast. I'm hearing something came crashing down there in April. I'm hearing, let's clear it. 10 of Wands here at the base of the Nine of Wands with the Father Swords. Now, in March we have the Empress upright as the number 3, associated with number 3. The third card of the Major Arcana, it's actually a really strong fire energy card. We see Aries here depicted on the Empress. It's related to the archetype of creation, manifestation, but it's also feminine with the Empress. And not to say that feminine is associated with a certain, what is gender, but, with a certain polarity in the matrix of positive, negative, push, pull, yin, yang. So, and everybody has every polarity within their being. Everybody has, they have a sun sign and moon sign, for example, to say it in that way, in a sort of, in a plain way, in a simple way, in a rudimentary way with the astrology chart. But okay, Justice upright in April. In April again, wow, so we're going back and forth. There's something that was just like, it's like I'm feeling sound that is almost like in a state of reverberation in a room. It's like da 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 da, and it's kind of like you not knowing where you are. I'm hearing that as well, like kind of. But interestingly, if we think about reverberation, even the theme of echolocation with dolphins, right, is like sound that's bouncing across walls. So if we come to that sort of concept, right, there's a reason for that. We have to emit that frequency to understand where we are in relation to our environment. So there's something that was shaking up here, and you do have the Tower here in April. Now the Empress upright, Justice card upright. Justice was in, oh my, did I say March for Empress? Oh my, okay, March, April, but we're calling, yeah, so something possibly got thrown around, maybe even something from March, plans for March into April just didn't get off the ground. Okay, April here with the Father Swords. Let's clear it and ground. April. Then we got May here with the Empress. So June was the Justice card. Then we have July with the Eight of Swords in reverse. August is three cards, four cups, Seven of Wands, and the Magician. So there's a reorienting, renavigating. We're getting excited again, is what I'm hearing. Ultimately, with the Magician and the Seven of Wands, we're starting to wake up, thaw out, is what I'm hearing. We're starting to see the bigger picture. I'm hearing that as well. I'm seeing there is this spring in the step again with the Magician and Seven of Wands sort of feeling. Now we then move here. This is August, right? So May, June, July, August, September is the Three of Wands. So there we go. We got another 3 here. Interestingly, the Empress again being associated with the number 3, and we were talking about March, which is actually associated with the third month. So there's a very strong focus for a number of you on also keeping grounded, connected, keeping focus on your vision. For a number of you, this is something that you felt like it pulls you through that really dark, I'm hearing that dark hole, I'm hearing that tunnel. You can think of it as sort of the birth canal with the 10 of Wands. Yes, for the 3 of Wands, we have yet again the focus on the month of September. Right? May, June, July, August, yes, September, 3 of Wands. I'm hearing money. Okay. Then we move into September, October with the 4 of Wands in reverse. So, let's get one more card out here. We have the Daughter Cups that leads you out with the World in your theme. Okay. So yeah, Cancer yet again, right? We saw that there was that focus there on, well, a really long-term cycle. So for a number of you, I'm hearing, I believe in me. I'm hearing that with the Daughter of Cups. There's something that you come back to, Cancer. You see it again. I'm hearing you're breathing. There's a sense of respiration. And it's so beautiful. I'm seeing this like really big it's like a tarp, but it's like fluttering in the air, in the wind. There's something that again is kind of, I'm hearing that song again. It's been a long day without you've seen the light. I'm hearing that as well. You've sort of seen a situation for what it is, and it no longer plagues you. I mean, it no longer bothers you. It's no longer like in the back of your mind, like kind of sort of gnawing at your beliefs. I'm hearing that as well. I want to pull one card on the Justice card here for June. Let's clear the energy and ground. the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, Mother Swords are bright. So for a number of you, there's something that, one more card actually on that as well. Yeah, Four of Swords. So there was something of a number of factors, the Strength card as well coming through. I was like, is it going to be Leo? Is it going to be the Strength card? There was something that was kind of like, as you felt it on the rocks, I'm hearing that. Like it was a very tricky space. I'm seeing someone trying to like scaffold like the side of a cliff, and it's like rocks and it's kind of wet. And they're like, oh boy, it's that feeling of like, am I going to slip? Okay, like that's what I'm feeling with the Strength card and the Mother of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Nine of Pentacles. With the Four of Swords, this is related to the number 4 Cancer, the moon, archetype of the moon, the 4th house in the astrology chart. So there is possibly, for a number of you, there was possibly something that you felt was very, very challenging, even to define. And we see here justice with the Four of Swords. When we look at, right, this sword card with the Four of Swords, you see these Four of Swords, I'm seeing it as almost like very, very kind of ironic because we see this one sword here with Justice card. It's like, how do you take one sort of also aspect of the experience and sort of make your decision within that space? So maybe for a number of you, it was a space of confusion. This was largely, I'm hearing, in June, and that really maybe possibly at a certain point undid itself, you can say, with the Eight of Swords in reverse in July. Not to say that possibly it made sense at that time, but it's like kind of a space of surrender is what I'm hearing with the Eight of Swords, kind of like the opening of the mind to kind of understand greater, like what happened there. I'm hearing that as well. For a number of you, this could be a space of also writing letters, maybe writing out your experience. Now, but I'm hearing there were a lot of challenges. For a number of you, there is a space again of healing. I'm hearing that in September, in October. I'm hearing in October, but I'm thinking of August. So take it as you will. It's something that maybe you're even planning towards. So we're going to jump into your extended Cancer. Love and light to all here. Thank you so much for connecting here to you. You are so brave for being here on Earth at this time. I want to tell you all that. It's a really pivotal time here that we're at with the astrology, especially. We just simply look at the astrology of Earth right now. There is so much that's being shaken out, really. With, I'm seeing that with the Empress here mirroring the Tower. For a number of you, this has been actually like you feel that you've been uprooted, and that's part of the story. I'm hearing part of the storyline. I'm hearing see yourself as the seed. I'm hearing for the intention that's set to be carried out into the next new world. I'm hearing of our dreams. I'll see you in the extended Cancer. Love and light to you. Link in the bio box below. Hope to see you